Shuumatsu Train Doko, or Train to the End of the World, is an anime that is currently airing in this spring 2024 season, and it had one of the most ridiculous opening sequences that I've seen in a show in quite a while. And make no mistake, this is saying a lot. I check out more or less every single new show that airs, and even in this sea of absolute chaos, this show here still manages to stick out. You all know 5G, right? As in the cellular networks technology. Some parts of the internet and the world at large seemed to have a bit of a meltdown about this being rolled out a while back, thinking it would cause diseases or other health-related issues. Misinformation and brain rot is really doing a number on people these days, it seems. So anyway, this show here decided to take this concept and turn it into the premise for this story in a way. This certified cute anime girl gets kidnapped via this big owl statue thing or whatever, and is more or less forced to inaugurate the next generation of cellular tech. And no, I'm not talking about 6G, we're skipping all the way over to 7G for the sake of the national honor of Japan. Hell yeah, brother.
Yes!
So, our cute lady reluctantly presses this button and the whole world goes through a transformation akin to pressing the randomize button in an RPG character creator. Maybe those people who were attacking cellular towers were onto something all along. As I was watching the first episode of this series, I assumed it would end up having very little going for it in the long run. It seemed like it was trying to hook people in by simply being as off the rails as possible without having much else to contribute in regards to the strength of the narrative or its characters. A lot of time is spent on just watching goofy scenes that only boil down to delivering some fairly shallow comedy. I don't particularly mind this or anything, but it isn't something that I'm usually all that into, especially not when it's the primary focus. The town of Agano that our main cast reside in has had all its adults transform into animals due to the spooky 7G incident, and a large portion of the first episode is spent on just watching these goobers talk about nothing in particular, while some comedy skits are interjected here and there. I didn't expect that I'd keep watching this show past this first episode as I was initially watching it, but towards the end the episode actually managed to kind of hook me in, as it was more clearly establishing the direction that things were actually going to be going in. This quartet of cute anime girls are going on an adventure to find their friend, the aforementioned 7G lady from before, except they're all out in the sticks while she was last seen in Ikebukuro. And so, they all get in a train and start traveling through this post-apocalyptic Japan on rails, one crazy station at a time. Sounds pretty cool to me. This is further elevated by an unironically strong cast of characters that have plenty of endearing charm to them and some shockingly decent production values. Many shots look legitimately great, and especially the characters look vibrant, expressive and sharp. Seeing these ladies just chill in a train while riding through these cool landscapes is pretty awesome, and they have a good amount of strong interactions and dialogue. The hints of comedy are still very much present, but among these characters these moments land far better for me and I actually appreciate them a fair bit. As we start getting past the first few stops, it is made clear that every station will be its own unique beast, with all of them having been affected in different ways by the wild powers of 7G. We have 30 stops of RNG anomalies to experience, and that sounds like a wild ride that I am totally on board for. The people at this station have all been made victims of parasitic mushrooms that grow out of their heads, and they try to infect any visitors with the same affliction. This station is just an empty field with crazy goat people. This station here appears to have become a big golf course where it rains golf balls, but the golf balls are actually people? Maybe? This is going to be a stretch, but the random feeling nature of this reminds me a lot of an old mod in Minecraft. I don't actually even know what the mod is called, it was part of a mod pack that I played ages ago called MoonQuest. It was something that I think the Yogscast put together back in the day, and I gave it a try after watching them do a series on it over 10 years ago. Anyway, it had this feature where you could make randomly generated dimensions to go to. Sometimes this could go in your favor. You could make dimensions with plenty of materials or whatever and make it easy for yourself to get large quantities of whatever it was you needed. But other times you could walk into dimensions where the ground would poison you or spontaneously combust, or there would be meteors falling down or absurd monsters that would mess your shit up. All the while having unique terrain generation and color palettes. I always thought this was such a cool thing, and it made it be really interesting to step into these weird dimensions and see what would be thrown your way next. It really appealed to my joy of exploration, this sense of having no clue where the boundaries are or what I could expect to run into. Shuumatsu Train manages to strike a similar note, and I'm totally into it. The tone of this show is perhaps a bit too far into the goofy side for my taste, but for the most part I do think it's all fairly tasteful and fun. In many ways, it probably couldn't be as surprising and interesting as it currently is if it would have been more conventionally suspenseful, but who knows. Either way, I'm digging these characters a lot, and this bonkers world has been a ton of fun to explore for me so far. Getting to be along for the ride as these girls just casually have their meals, get chased by crazy mushroom people, get assaulted by golf ball people, or get high on mushrooms themselves is all pretty great. That last one in particular deserves a special mention, as Akira's voice actor, Hina Kino, goes pretty damn hard in her delivery in this scene.
Akira はいつだって元気だよ。元気もりもり。はーい。よいしょ。おらあらら、なんか思うように動けない。なんでかな。
You can't look at that and tell me that this ain't some pure gold right here. This shit had me smiling like you wouldn't believe. All of this Morse code banging on the rails is also pretty fire. I'm currently 4 episodes into this show, and at the time of writing that's all that is currently aired. This is so far one of the most pleasant surprises for me in this spring 2024 anime season, and I'm stoked to see where it goes from here. I can very easily see this going downhill as the story goes on, as it is probably quite likely that it will be unable to fully deliver upon the expectations that it has started to set for me. This happens all the time with mystery adventure shows like this though, so it would hardly be anything new. But for now, I'm having a pretty good time, so I'll just enjoy the ride while it lasts, and hope for the best in regards to the destination. If you're in the mood for an adventure show with some mystery elements and plenty of cute girls, then maybe you could check this one out. If you're already watching this series, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Thanks for watching my stuff, I hope you have a cool day, and see you in the next video maybe.